Welcome to the quiet, friendly campus of Lake Washington High School. There's nothing like the cafeteria as students enjoy the daily school lunch menu.
It's the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my life.
But Lake Washington is more than good food and daily studies. It also boasts a strong athletic program. Students compete in gymnastics and wrestling. And of course, intramural sports too. But in the early days of November and continuing into February, the name of the game is basketball. There have been many teams in the history of Lake Washington. This is the story of one of them. As tryouts began in mid-November, would-be ball players listened closely to Coach Mike Cashman.
Okay, guys, listen closely. Okay, that's close enough. Rule number 1, don't make fun of the way Coach Pickering dresses.
Attention, basketball tryouts today at 3 o'clock, except for Matheson, who'll probably show up at 3:30.
As practices began, fundamentals were stressed, like running, passing, and jumping.
All right, you guys, I want you to play with some intensity. Jackson, long tablet, let's go. And you guys, break it up, let's get out of here. Come on.
As the first game drew near, the Kangaroos began getting talked about.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the finest lineups ever. And I don't just mean the players. How about that Amy Trusello and Darryl Cox? They're all state. And as far as I'm concerned, all American.
As the first game approached, the school's athletic director spoke to the team.
And here is athletic director, Mr. Gentle.
Thank you, Mrs. Woods. A bunch. And I just want to say that we're all very glad that the Lake Washington Kangaroos will be represented by you seniors, juniors, and sophomore Tom Altenberger. So I want you to get out there, have a great season, have a wonderful time, guys, and I better not catch you in the upper parking lot.
The story of the Kangaroo basketball team is a story of ragtag overachievers. They were told they weren't tall enough.
Bob, they're telling me I'm not tall enough.
Oh, don't you believe it, Brian?
They were told they weren't fast enough. And yet, they struck fear into the hearts of players throughout the league. Perigo, Steve Myers, the lightning-fast Dan Matheson, and many, many more. Another important factor in the Kang Gang's success was the unique mental conditioning administered by the coaches. Well, Mr. Offness, ready for basketball cybernetics? Okay, Coach, turn on the tapes. Soon, Mr. Offness, you'll know all about rebounding. What? It's a hickey. Oh. Keep him away from that cheerleader. Early in the season, junior Bob Taplett approached teammate Ken Long.
What seems to be on your mind, Taplett?
I don't think you're aggressive enough.
Oh, you, think so, do ya? Taplett?
Okay, Ken, you're aggressive enough.
One of the team's swiftest players was Joe Bergevin.
And here comes Bergevin.
And here's Joe's style point ranking. The The enthusiasm and support of the Lake Washington High School cheerleaders was an inspiration to players and fans alike. There was no excitement like that generated by the high school pep band. The office of school principal Chuck Martin.
Mr. Davis. Oh, Chris Davis. Chris. I'm going to suspend you.
Indeed, it was Chris Davis's swarming defense that played an important role on the Kangaroo team.
Oh, quit it! Come on!
And I tell you that team is just fine, but those statisticians are trouble.
One of the team's true Kangaroos was leaping Jeff Morgan. And one of his specialties was diving for loose balls. Before each game, every player was encouraged to get his mind in the right place. Jim Jackson was a master at getting psyched up for the game.
Good defense. I gotta stop those turnovers. I gotta rebound. I'm getting ready.
And indeed, the Kangaroos were ready and played their way to their first playoff berth in years. It came from the dedication of the players themselves and the enthusiasm of their parents. It's the story of the team they called the Kang Gang.
This was an exciting year at Lake Washington. True, Coach Cashman doesn't have as much hair on his head as he used to have, but then he's not that great looking anyway. That's why he keeps Coach Pickering around. Dave makes everyone else look so much more attractive. But let me say in closing, thanks, Kangs. It was a year we'll never forget. Now if we can just do something about Rolfness's hickeys.